Hello students, let's start today's lecture by the discipline Ecology of Plants and Animals and Biogeography. Today is our lecture number 5, Air as an Ecological Factor. Planned today's lecture is the general characteristics of plant atmospheric air, gas resistance and the gas sensitivity of plants. Purpose of today's our lecture is to form students knowledge about the gas resistance and the gas sensitivity of plants. General characteristics of atmospheric air. What is the air? Air is so important particular for the living organisms, including the plants, such as water and light and other nutritions. So air is a material environment that surrounding most plants and determines their existence. On the one hand, the air is the source of their air supply to the biota. From the air, plants receive the oxygen necessary for a life process. At the same time, it's necessary to take into account changes in habitat conditions and above all temperature and the water regime in their organism and the movement of air. Therefore, air is the most important direct and indirect environmental factor which influence to the living organisms, including the plants. Next is the mechanical impact. Wind blows, growth, deformation, and other snow corrosion. In this picture, you can see that how the air and wind is influenced to the plants. Under the influence of strong winds constantly blowing in one direction, tree species exhibited growth deformation manifested in eccentric growth titling of trunks and the flag shaped. In this picture, you can see how the tree leaves is deformation by the winds. So next is the influences of the on the course of physiological process in the organisms of plants. Osmosis in the plant, you can see the process of osmosis in the plant, increased thermophysization of features, constant strong winds increase the intensity of transpiration and lead to the increase in the osmotic pressure of the cell sap. The intense water regime reduces of the biological productivity of plants. Therefore, under condition of increased cyclonic activity, plants have a number of adaptations to reduce water loss, and the general are characterized by the thermophysization. In this picture, you can see the three types of phases of plant cell in osmosis is the isotonic and the hypotonic and the hypertonic. Anemophily. Anemophily is one of the influences of the air in the plants. Many plants have adapted to cross-pollination with the help of wind. If we don't have the wind or the water, plants cannot pollinate without them. So wind pollination are anemophily. We can say this process as anemophily is characteristics of all species of the grass and the sage family. Many trees are also pollinated by the wind, so they transfer the pollen by the wind. These include flowering earlier, such as in trees, so that the leaves or the crown do not interfere with the spread of pollen. Anemophilous species have a special arrangement of flowers and inflorescences. Why we say the anemophilous? because in this process the insects or animals, they help to the plants to pollinate with each other. Another important phenomenon in plants is associated with the activity of wind, anima hori. Anima hori is the pollination of plants with the wind. If we say the anima phili, they pollinate by the animals or insects, but in this process, anima hori, the plants pollinate by the wind. So anima hori is promoted by the small size and the light weight of seeds, as well as hairs on seeds and the fruits, winded outgrowths, and the other plant adaptations. What is the gas resistance and the gas sensitivity of plants? The ability of plants to pursue the process of vital activity and seed reproduction, characteristics of the body in conditions of pollution by gases and the vapors of atmospheric air is called gas resistance. The gas resistance is divided into the three types. The first is anatomical, the second is physiological, and the third is biochemical. Anatomical adaptations are that reduce the impact of toxic gases, include xeromorphic thickness of the epidermis, development of the cuticle, waxy coating, and tissue folding. The second is physiological, includes changes of photosynthesis, respiration, stomatal function, and the change in the intensity of transpiration as decrease in the intensity of the gas exchange. The third is biochemical, combined those feature metabolism or that complete or eliminate damage to enzymes, systems, protein, and other metabolism. And the next is habitual, phenothrenic, and anabiotic. Habitual is including features of the structure of the crown, branching, and the height of the above ground parts, which reduce the contact of leaves and flowers with toxic gases. Phenorhythmic is shifts and changes during phenological phases, premature yellowing of lost leaves. The next is anabiotic. Anabiotic represents an extreme case of physiological gas resistance. Signs on this form include a sharp reduction in gas exchange and significant anatomical change with the wintering species of trees and shrubs. The degrees in gas sensitivity is calculated by xeromorphic structure, dense addition of tissues, the formation of powerful intergemental tissues, their development of cuticles, wax plaques, and etc. Light leaves are less sensitive to the effects of airborne toxicants than shadows leaves. So we can say about the scientists about Ilkan, which recommended using of the following types of plants for landscaping in industrial area. The first is the area of severe damage is 500 meters. The second is the zone of moderate damage about 500 and 2,000 meters. And the third zone of weak damage is 2,000 from 2,000 to the 4,000 meters rubbers. So, dear students, today in our lecture we studied about how wind or air is influenced to the plants. So we studied about the pollination of plants by the winds, by the air, and we studied about the gas resistance, and we studied about how winds damage the trees or other plants' morphological structure. So I think it's enough for today. Thanks for attention.